Listen, we're gonna get 4 Beatles movies. We can get 2 Michael Jackson movies. It'd be totally okay.
Amen. Hello and welcome to Cassette Take, where you can eject wherever you want, but please don't forget to rewind. I'm Ethan.
I'm Annmarie.
And Annmarie, who's this sitting behind us here?
Wait, there's someone behind us?
There is a fellow. Fellow, introduce yourself.
There's a dark man here.
We have Raj with us today.
Yes, our buddy Raj, who, if you guys don't know, he sometimes assists us in post work, and we also do a lot of short films, a lot of other work with him as well in the film and television realm. So, yeah, we're happy to have him on. How you doing, Raj?
Good to be here. Good to be here.
So glad. We're like, this is the one that I knew Raj would want to go to, too.
Yes, so Annmarie, what did we just go see?
We just got out of seeing Michael.
Michael, yes, the Antoine Fuqua musical biopic movie that we've been waiting for a while now.
A long while.
A long while indeed. One that was technically supposed to be one giant movie, but they decided to split into two and then kind of forgot that they were going to split into two and marketed this as one movie. And then, yeah, it split into two.
A lot of discussion.
Yeah,
about
lots of stuff going on behind the scenes with this one. But at the end of the day, there's just something that we really have to address at the forefront, and that is the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes with this one.
Yes, so before we saw this movie, the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes was at 27%. It has gone up in the past hour to 35%. Now, the way Rotten Tomatoes works, it's not like how we do our scores here. We give scores out of 10. Where Rotten Tomatoes, it's like you liked it or you didn't like it. So think of it as 35 people out of 100 or 100 people liked it. The rest basically didn't. So, to be honest, they're dead wrong.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Going into this movie, wasn't expecting much other than maybe like a really well shot, really well acted music biopic. That's all. I wasn't really expecting anything more, especially with all the drama behind the scenes with this movie. At the same time, I'm like, it can't be that. You got Antoine Fuqua behind the camera. You got this great ensemble cast here. I mean, how bad can it be? I'm just hoping like for bare minimum here, right? And, I'm a decent Michael Jackson fan. I really love his music. I've grown up with it. It's just stuff that's been, with me since fresh out of the womb. So, I mean, yeah, and you need that image in your head. But, Raj, I know you're a big fan of Michael Jackson.
I
So,
think you're the biggest fan out of all three of us of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I love Michael Jackson. I grew up listening to Michael Jackson all the time. I remember just sitting in the school bus and I just had an album on my little iPod, just Michael Jackson. I played that every day on repeat. So yeah, when I heard the Rotten Tomato score was 27%, I was super disappointed. I was debating should I go watch it?
Oh, you weren't gonna come?
I wasn't gonna come.
Oh, wow.
I was but I paid $22. But do I want to drive 45 minutes?
And
But then
Dolby.
and Dolby, I kind of forgot about that. Low-key, I literally didn't realize that it was Dolby until I walked into the theater because I completely
oh my
forgot.
gosh, yeah. So Raj comes walking in the theater. Emery sends him his ticket and everything, and Raj comes walking in the theater. Like we're on one of the first rows, at least like away from the walkway, the middle aisle. And Raj just starts walking up like right past us, just keep going up to the next level and going on to the next level. We're like, Raj, come on, what are you
He
doing?
was focused
I
even.
guess he was in the zone. He was in the Jackson zone, and he just wanted to hear his music, sit down, get to it. But at the end of the day, Raj found where he needed to go. And Raj, at the end of the day, did you like this movie as the Michael Jackson fan that you are? And were you happy that you found your destination at this theater in that seat next to us?
Yes, I thought this movie was great. It did not deserve a 27% or even a 35%. It was great. I thought it was really well written, and I think I been watching some reels and stuff. I heard there's some restrictions for this movie where they couldn't film, or they couldn't really like put in the allegations, the sexual allegations on there. They actually removed that from the movie.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the whole mess of a disaster this movie was put into together, but I think you bring up pretty much a good point here that even though the making of this movie was a complete disaster, it's pretty damn good. Let's just start off with saying, Coleman Domingo, man, go get your Oscar right away. Like, really, do we need to discuss this? This guy's winning his Oscar.
I mean, listen, I would love to absolutely say 100%, but man, we got such a stacked year coming up. We gotta see. But I will say right now, he's a step above Rocky. He's a step above Rocky in
Whoa.
regards to performance, which I mean, take that as you will. But no, I think Coleman Domingo nails the character as Mr. Jackson and just every single intricate, like his eyes, holy crap, his eyes. You just look into his eyes and you feel everything you're supposed to feel in that performance. His cadence is great, his just presence is incredible. I'm always a big fan of him, but this just he really knocks it out of the park.
Mhm.
Jafar Jackson being the lead role. He for all you who don't know,
Round of applause
yes,
for
round of
Raj and
applause.
I.
For all you who don't know, that's Michael Jackson's nephew. Just someone that, of course, related by blood. So, of course, Jafar Jackson, he's on there. Question is, yes, he's related by blood, but can he carry that same spirit that, Michael Jackson was able to convey through his performance? And at the end of the day, I gotta say, hell yeah. I almost thought that it was Michael Jackson at some points.
Raj brought up a good point. You said there's shots of it that
Yeah.
it looks like Michael.
I feel like I saw his ghost, low key. Like there's like shots where like I just like Michael. You can kind of see the difference, but it looks so similar. But there's so many moments where I'm like, oh my god, that's like literally Michael J. As like I'm like right then and there, like right there at the moment.
I think as well, his speech pattern. Jafar's not an actor. Not an actor. This is his first role. He's a dancer by trade, which you can clearly tell in this movie. But his speech patterns, it's insane. Like it's absolutely insane that this guy I don't think anyone else could play Michael Jackson. I think Jafar is the absolute definition of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and like I said, of course, it helps to be related by blood. That definitely gives you a bit of a
His
step up.
dance moves.
But at the end of the day, it's more so about your execution, and can you execute the dance? Oh, hell yeah, he can execute the dance. That there was no question about that. But the performance, like you were saying, the speech pattern, and going back to cadence, he really brought it. Not only down to like the prosthetics and great job by the makeup team for really helping him look like Michael through the different stages of his life there. But at the same time, you really need that performance to really bring it all together. And Jafar really does it. And I was absolutely taken by his performance, even with the little moments as well, like just how he would react to certain things that were said. And it's like a blink if you miss it kind of reaction. And I like those little things just build up into this great wonderful performance, and I don't know. It could be definitely an Oscar contender.
Oh yeah. I also shout out to the kid who played Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that kid can sing.
Can sing, can act. I mean, I was kind of worried at first. The first scene, you see the kid in like the very one of the first shots of the movie. It just was like a weird delivery of a line, very small, very quick, but I'm like, "Oh, okay, like I wonder how long we're going to be with this kid." And then he starts really getting into the swing of things, and stepping into stride, and man, the kid kills it.
Yeah, that kid was really good. You kind of forget like he's a kid from like this generation, and he's playing a character from like 40 years ago, from like the 70s and 80s. And the way he plays that character is like so real. You feel like you're in that time period. And for a kid to do that, I mean that's pretty wild.
I love that point too. And also like you just feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just feel so bad for and that goes to Coleman Domingo's performance. Like, man, what a guy. Not in a good way, but
Right. No, I mean, and everyone, Miles Teller's great, I can't remember her name, but the woman that plays the mom,
Oh,
I
yes.
think
Yeah.
she knocks it out of the park. And everyone just does such a great job. I will say, I know the movie's called Michael. I personally, from this movie, would have liked a little more time between Michael and his brothers, demonstrate a little more sense of camaraderie of sorts. And they do dabbles of it here and there, but I personally would have liked a little more of it, but maybe that was the point, was to demonstrate his isolation he felt from his brothers. But I don't know. I personally could have used a little more of that dynamic there. Something I want to bring up about this movie to again really contradict these odd critics here. The scope and scale of this movie, the way it's shot, is just so much. I got such a great sense of how large everything was, the spectacle of it all. I mean, and honestly, the transitions with how they were going about it almost felt like Avengers Endgame at times, which is a weird comparison to make. But if you watch the movie, you might be able to kind of catch on to what I'm saying. It feels like that vibe.
I have to ask you guys this question because honestly, Michael Jackson is not Michael Jackson without the music, but I felt that definitely in certain songs. Did you guys have a favorite performance that Jafar did?
I would say it's kind of tied between 2,
I feel like I know the one that you're gonna say.
Billie Jean
Yeah.
and Thriller.
Yeah.
And without giving too much else away there, like, I mean, and this is history, there's not really too much to spoil, but like, I feel like when you go into it, those moments are going to be in there, but how they're conveyed, I feel like is always a delightful surprise to see when you don't really know everything about every single aspect of the structure and everything. So, but yeah, no, those two, I think the performance is stronger as an actor for Jafar with Thriller, but in regards to just capturing Michael Jackson, I think Billie Jean, it depends on what you want between those two, but I like them both equally in those different respects.
Did you have a favorite one,
You
Raj?
know what? I'd probably say Thriller. Thriller is my favorite,
Mm.
and what I really loved about this movie was that it really brought this like thing about Michael is that his attention to detail about his music. And I wish we touched more into it, but I think it was perfect for the movie. But I really hope for the second movie we really get into it, especially with his like solo music and stuff like that, like more into that.
I think you bring up a good point that, and this is something that we talked about right after the movie, Ethan and I. There's 2 points in this movie where you feel like you're a part of the creative process. The first one is dance. They really showed the dance, especially Thriller. There's a scene for it. Oh my God, incredible. The way Jafar talks about dance in that moment. And two, what song is it again that you mentioned? That one scene where you were like, I felt like I was there with
Oh,
Michael.
Beat It,
Yes.
like where he's taking all this crew with him and just kind of going through the motions of like, hey, this is what should be, and then also improvising and like, you see him in the room before that, just kind of like trying to put the beat together and it's such a great use of cinema where you don't have to just say exactly what's going on. It's such a great way to capture things visually and audibly. And man, that scene in particular where he's just standing in his room, moving his leg, twitching his knee and like snapping and trying to, put the words together. And we're capturing different cards that he has on the wall and like different lyrics. And he's trying to put them all together like a puzzle in his head. And there's, to add on top of it, this is just such a credit to Antoine Fuqua's direction. Is there are certain shots where you truly do get behind the sunglasses that Michael would always, not always, but like quite frequently hide behind from the world. And I think that's such an important shot to have throughout the movie. And this movie is not afraid to get up close and personal with its shots, and which is crazy to think about because I just talked about the scale and spectacle of it, which you expect more wide and, landscaping shots and all that. It does plenty. But man, the other side of it is that up close and personal. It does such a great job of balancing both. So Fuqua just doing Fuqua things out here, guys.
Yeah, I feel like any other artist, I think you'd expect that wide spectrum, but with Michael and how big he was, he didn't have that like everything. was like open for him. So everyone was like super close. Everyone knows what goes on with Michael, you know? Like I feel like his life wasn't as private as a lot of celebrities are these days, you
Mhm.
know? His life was more public and he was huge
Oh yeah. It
all over the world.
honestly. Well, so this movie's great, right? Obviously, we very much disagree with the critics. But the making of this movie was a disaster, and I really want to talk about it.
Yes. So, Emery, care to relay that whole situation down?
Yes, Raj kind of mentioned it earlier. So what ended up happening was this movie was originally supposed to come out like late 2024, early 2025. And they shot the whole film, and the Jackson estate was obviously very much heavily a part of this process. And they gave them a green light to discuss one of the allegations that came up between Michael and a young boy. But they didn't realize after they shot the movie, unfortunately, that is not allowed to be included in any of the movie or any of Michael Jackson's stuff. So what they had to do is reshoot the whole ending. So the third act of this movie was originally completely different. Now, the interesting part of this is after rumblings of this movie coming out, there's been talks about a sequel. And Ethan brought up a good point of, well, were critics expecting one thing about Michael's whole life and that's why they're upset? Or did they not understand the part one, part two? It's confusing.
Yeah, and I don't blame them for being confused because, I mean, even before all that was said, this movie was supposed to be those first two movies into one,
Hmm.
right? And it was supposed to be from the Michael that we see in this movie, where this is essentially the first half of his life. This movie, beginning to end, is the first half. And the other half was supposed to be the other half of his life, but it was supposed to be in one movie. That was always the plan, one movie. But then with that situation, and obviously they need to reshoot some stuff, and they had a lot of footage to utilize as well. They figured, well, while we're at it, let's just separate into two movies, especially since we have a strong feeling that this is going to be successful the way we think it might be, box office wise, obviously not critically, but box office wise, it would benefit us more to make a sequel. So but again, there was a lot back and forth about that, and a lot of that drama in the background going on. So I don't blame the critics for kind of having maybe a little different set of expectations there in that regard. But if you already get that by the end of it, like hey, Jackson's story will continue kind of thing, then like, that's it's saying exactly what this was supposed to be by the end of it. It's like, that should kinda click with you that that's the case. What I said when we were coming out of the theater was, if critics were expecting this to be one whole movie by the end of it and afterwards and treating it like it was, that's not what this was supposed to be. This was the first half of Michael Jackson's life from point A to point B, not going on to point C quite yet, but to point B. Okay? We're not there yet. If they wanted that, that's like expecting everything from Doom Part 2 to be in Doom Part 1. And that was not the case. They obviously succeeded in doing two separate movies and telling the story in a very well executed fashion, I may add, masterfully. And, you know, that's what this is supposed to be. I'm not saying it's on the same level of quality, but I'm just saying that's what is to be expected when you're telling that kind of story in that kind of structure. And if you're going into it expecting something completely different, then you are going to be disappointed. But when you are told what this is and you're still going after it for what it's not, are you really a critic at that point? Because you're critiquing something that isn't there.
I mean, how could you not expect two movies from a Michael Jackson about his
Well, they
life?
weren't originally told
They weren't
to.
told to, but it makes sense at the end of the day. I mean, like this guy has been singing since he was like a kid, up till like when he died. So there's so much story to tell, and you can't tell that in one movie. I mean, let's be real. Like, there's a lot that has happened in his life from him in like Jackson 5 to him going to solo to like him dealing with the problems that he had to deal with as a solo artist and his struggle with his his childhood and stuff like that and trauma. So there's a lot to tell about this guy, and quite frankly, like I didn't think about this until I watched the movie, but you can't really like do that in one movie, you know?
Though, so I'm really trying to get in the mindset of the critics. I really am, because I read some of the critiques of it. A lot of them were like, this is very much a dud. I wasn't seeing much of, oh, they didn't talk about X, Y, and Z, because there's a lot. Like, Raj mentioned it. There's so much of Michael Jackson. Listen, we're going to get 4 Beatles movies. We can get 2 Michael Jackson movies. It'd be totally okay.
Amen.
Getting in the mind of a critic of this, I don't think this is a dud. I really don't. I was amazed. There's such good performances in here. I really don't get it. I think this is gonna be one of the movies that are really split. Like, I think the audience score, I think it could be high 90s.
Yeah, and when it comes down to movies like recently Mario Galaxy that we saw where there was that big differentiation between the critics and between the audience, when I came out of that movie, I could understand why. Like it's not going to be for everyone if you're expecting, something that's like a little more narratively enhanced or your traditional movie going experience, but it's something that is like definitely there for the Mario fans, and so you're going to have a greater populist response to it. And like I that's just a movie you could tell, yes, I get why these scores are the way they are. Now, with this one, I don't know, this is the kind of stuff that critics would eat up, like from genre to performances to direction, like every aspect about this movie. No, I'm not saying it should be like, 100% or like even in the 90s, but
30, 35?
yeah, 35.
35?
What are we doing out here?
Roger's shaking his head
Yeah,
violently.
no way. I give it like maybe like I can see like a 70%.
Yeah, I
No.
don't get it. I really don't get it. And I'm excited for the sequel. I knew the ending was coming. I knew it was coming. But a part of me was like hoping and wishing it wasn't gonna end there.
Oh, we got a little DLC downloaded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally downloaded it.
Michael Jackson DLC. There you go.
I would love that.
You know what this reminds me of? You remember Rise of Skywalker, that really bad movie? All right, you know how Rotten Tomatoes gave it a low score and then like the audience gave it a high score?
Yeah.
I disagreed with the audience, but now if the audience give this movie a high score, I agree with the audience because this movie deserves a high score and the critics are wrong about this.
It
Come
didn't-
on, get it together.
Now, here's the thing. Yes, we do understand all film, all art is subjective. And, not everyone's going to be seeing something the same way. And I can understand if you hate, a movie and this one, I can understand if you don't like it. Everything hits everyone differently. But it's just like at the rate at which it's hitting certain people, people that typically would love this, it really throws me quite a bit.
And maybe, you know what? We're one of the first people to go see it. We got an early screening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested to hear other people's thoughts on this because, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I personally think this is a movie. If you like Michael Jackson content, if you like his music, if you're a big fan of his, heck, if you just want to see a really good biopic with some great acting and some great directing and great makeup, great everything in regards to the execution from cast and crew and post. Like, I mean, I'd say go at the end of the day, go to the theater, go see this movie. It's a fun time. I think you'll have a blast, and worst comes to worst, you get some great music.
Yeah, honestly.
So at the end of the day, we have to do something here at Cassette Take, and Raj, I'm sure listening to us like you do religiously, definitely 100%
Yes.
all the time, right? You don't miss an episode.
I never miss an episode. And if you miss an episode,
But we must give this movie a rating, and I gotta start off with Annmarie. Annmarie, out of 10 diamond glitter gloves.
How did I know that was going to be your pick?
What, you expected CGI chimps?
No, I'm good.
Out of 10 sparkly glittery gloves, how many would you give Michael out of 10?
Oh, you're gonna make me go first? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. For the third
She's
time
not giving
this-
it a 4. She's not giving it a 4.
Oh,
Just one.
no.
You just 4 and then pause.
No, for... God, let me restart.
Well, you messed her up. Come on.
Thank you, Raj. For the third time this year, I am giving Michael a 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I am not the biggest Michael Jackson fan. I'm not. Like, you know me, guys. I don't really listen to music. I don't really care. I won't go into my thoughts about Michael as a person, but I've always been on the fence about him. Listen, this is a great movie. Jafar embodies Michael like no one else. I don't think anyone else could play Michael Jackson. If you know me, I love theater, but the reason I love theater is because of the dancing. Jafar is an amazing dancer. I wanted to stand up and dance with him. And again, I don't love Michael Jackson. Like, this is crazy to me. Don't know what the critics are talking about. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I love this movie.
All right, Raj.
I would probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. I love this movie, but I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was great. I think it was well done.
Are we gonna be across the board, Ethan?
Well, I think I gotta add to our little thing here so we can make it a little 8, 9, 10 because I gotta give it a 9. I really enjoyed this movie. It surprised me quite a bit with how great it was. That like I'm not a big fan of a lot of Antoine Fuqua's action movie. Like, not saying that they're bad. I'm just it's not up my alley quite a bit, but and I'm not always looking forward when someone is directing, that comes from that to do something like this. But sometimes, that they can turn the tables on you and, pleasantly surprise you and be like, hey, you're wrong. And I am more than happy to be wrong about Antoine Fuqua here because, man, he killed it in the director's chair. And, aside from the one critique I had where I think I personally would have liked it to have had a little more dynamic with the brothers going on between him and Michael or them and Michael, and I would have liked a little more of that. But other than that, I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. I thought they nailed it just about everything else, and I'm really looking forward to the next one where we're probably most definitely gonna be diving into the weaves of everything that maybe a lot of people were looking for into this movie.
And they better have the sequel just be called Jackson.
Yes, Michael Jack. That's a great box set right
Come
there.
on, you guys.
Physical media's calling. But something I quickly want to say as well is if you don't like this movie by the end of it, I think there's kind of a little thing I can draw a parallel here. So I showed my grandparents The Fablemans, right? They were
Mhm.
looking forward to it. They wanted to see, how Spielberg became the way he is. Of course, it's a little more fictionalized, but it's essentially a autobiography film. I showed it to them and they were absolutely disappointed in it. I'm like, why? What's wrong with it? I loved it. They said they wanted to see him actually working in the film industry and his startup through there rather than his childhood leading up to that. And they were expecting that to be the case. Now, if you're going into Michael expecting, the full thing, you're not going to get that and you might have that same reaction. But I still think no matter what, I think you're still going to get a well-made film, a great time at the theater, and most especially just some awesome, awesome music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, guys, Michael, we got an early access screening of it. Maybe you guys were at one of those early access screenings. Maybe you're getting around to listening to this conversation a little later and you've seen it, weeks from now. Who knows? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you feel all the different emotions? Do you agree with the critics? Do you not? Do you want to take a pitchfork to the critics? I don't know. But whatever you're thinking, let us know your takes on our tapes in those comments down below. And with that, Annmarie, I believe that about does it for us.
Let's wrap it.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us on this episode of Cassette Take. Raj, do you have anything that you want to mention before we close out
Yeah,
today?
Raj, where can the people check you out at?
You can check me out on Instagram. My handle is at Raj Mahal Studios.
We'll put it down in the link as well. Raj is doing some amazing stuff, so please go check him out.
Yes, yes. So we're looking forward to seeing what he's coming out. Maybe he'll be the next movie director that we see in the theater. You never know. Small beginnings for everybody. But man, we're looking forward to everything. So, especially in this year of 2026 in movies. But, guys, thank you again for joining us on this episode. Cassette Take, thank you, Raj. And we hope you haven't ejected thus far into the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that great YouTube vernacular. And we hope you haven't ejected thus far into the podcast. But whether you have or haven't, please don't forget to rewind. I've been Ethan.
I've been Annmarie.
I've been Raj.
And